So after downloading Fly with AI and having it as a plugin inside of your simulator, I've got it running on XPlane right now. I can go into plugins and find the windows for dealing with Fly with AI in various forms. As soon as you log in, you'll be directed to a sign-in page. After signing in, basically everything, all the features are now activated by voice and by these drop-down windows. So into XProtection, which is the XPlane version of Fly with AI, I'll go to the maneuver list. This maneuver list window shows all the maneuvers that are available in this second epoch version. So the first one that I want to start with is familiarization. Familiarization is like the first exercise and flight lesson that you would do with an instructor. It might be somebody's first flight in an aircraft, period. This is something that's supposed to get them familiar and kind of comfortable with flying, the idea of flying. So what I've used this familiarization for is to teach a user how exactly they're going to be using Fly with AI and their virtual flight instructor. So if I click this, I'll open up a page that
Hi, I am your dedicated AI flight instructor and number 2.
begins.
I'm like a virtual assistant in the
pause.
right seat of the aircraft. In this
Okay, now we're
familiarization
flying.
flight, I want to make sure we are comfortable and you know how to make the most
She
of
does a
Fly
better
with
job
AI.
introducing herself
I
than
want
do.
to show you the basics of how we work together. When we start a maneuver, I will make sure to remind you about what's expected from you.
This chat window
I will maintain control of the aircraft,
basically a
and I will
closed
say,
captioning
when you're
of
ready,
everything that Fly
tell
with
me
AI
you
is
have
saying.
control. After that, I expect you to say the words, I have control. Once you say that, I will release control of the plane for you to fly the maneuver. Let's give it a shot. When you're ready, tell me you have control.
I have control. This handoff works exactly
Awesome.
like it
Now
would
you
work
have control
in
of
a real
the
aircraft.
aircraft. I'm not doing anything, but I am still monitoring all the physics of
So
the
now I'm able to
aircraft and
fly
thinking
the plane
about
a
how
bit.
to give you sophisticated feedback.
So I'm just kind of lightly touching the controls, getting
When
an
I
idea.
take over the aircraft, I will say, I have control.
And now she's
Sometimes
talking
I will
about
take control
transfer
because
of
I see the
control back to
situation
the
getting
instructor.
dangerous and
This
I
is
want
something
to
that students
stabilize
should
the
become
plane.
familiar with right away.
But I might also just take control so that we can speak more about advanced topics. For many pilots, having in-depth discussions can be a lot to process while flying. So let me take control so we can have those discussions.
This window
Me taking over control is always intended to improve your learning and not some kind of punishment. I deal with the transfer of controls the exact same way a flesh and blood human would. I will tell you I have control, and then I expect a verbal confirmation from you. I will be listening for you to say, you have control. Let's give it a try. I will take control now. I have control.
You have control. See, I can see up here that she was listening for it.
Voila. Now I have control. Thank you for transferring control. You'll notice when I'm listening for you to speak, there will be a green light indication on the chat window.
Yeah, that's up here.
Feel free to move around the chat window or maneuver window to different displays if they are too distracting.
I do find this distracting, which is why I kind of like being able to
When I
pop
have
it open
control,
like this,
I will always stabilize the
move this
aircraft
to
in
another
straight
screen.
and level
I like to
flight
have that
and
actually on
reset
a
the
separate
throttle and
screen.
things like that. I'll even reset the trim for you. I won't take control if you're doing really well, and I'll allow you to move from exercise to exercise as fast as you'd like. I am constantly monitoring the aircraft. I know that we are going 85 knots, that our altitude is 8,504 feet. I know advanced physics of the aircraft and things like your throttle position and flap settings, so we can talk about any of those things. Let's start with some familiarization. Do you know where the throttle is? Advance your throttle to full power.
So if I look at it and I advance to full power.
Great job. Now pull the throttle back to about 2300 RPM on the tachometer.
I'm looking at attack.
Nice. So I can see your throttle, power settings, airspeed, and all sorts of details about the flight. For each of the exercises, I will be learning more about how you fly and how I can give you better feedback. I'm excited to get started. And there we go. That's the end of the familiarization exercise. Do you have any questions about how to proceed? At the end of every maneuver, we can have an open chat about anything.
No, I don't have any questions about how to proceed. So after I see the end of the maneuver, you and I can have just an open dialogue.
That's correct. After the maneuver is completed, we can have an open dialogue to discuss any questions or concerns you might have. This is also a great time for me to provide feedback and guidance on your performance during the maneuver.
So the
Remember,
chat
my
and the
goal is to help you
conversation
become a
is really
better
supposed to be
pilot
an extra
by
tool
providing
that you can
constructive
have at the end
feedback
of a
and
maneuver
answering any
to,
questions you might
really
have.
talk about your own flying skills, what you might have strengths in, what you might have weaknesses in. If you want to stop it, you can kill the chat by clicking this stop chat button. And you can see now the light is red, our audio is no longer being transcribed, and also the AI is not able to hear us. So this might be an opportunity to have a conversation with somebody else, like I'm having with you. So these chats can go on for in perpetuity, and hopefully they show very focused feedback on the details of that maneuver that you actually just flew. So in the preceding videos, what I'm going to do is basically show you all of these maneuvers as part of this release's list of maneuvers. They use a variety of schemes for learning kind of the basics. These are kind of like the first few exercises that you do in the air. Exercise 6, 7, and 8, and 9, ending with turning exercises. So I will make separate videos to show you each of those, and yeah, hopefully get you a little bit more familiar with how this works. Okay, that's all for now. Thanks very much.